When I created the first Arena Showcase video on Bash at the Beach, it wasn't really intended to become a series, but more a one-time look at my favorite pay-per-view event. Well, that and Halloween Havoc are tied for my top 2 spots, but nevertheless, it was just a picture tribute without commentary or anything special. Now that the show has evolved a little, I'd like to go back and give Bash at the Beach the same treatment that the other episodes received, plus a little bonus event at the end. So join me for an in-depth look at the sets, rings, graphics, and more that made up WCW's yearly July event from 1994 to 2000. This is Arena Showcase WCW Bash at the Beach. As WCW Beach Blast would transition into Bash at the Beach for 1994, we would see the first event take place on July 17th of that year in Orlando, Florida, with 14,000 fans in attendance. The logo carries over from the old event, with nothing changing but the name. Commentary introductions come in the form of simple white block lettering with a slight 3D perspective effect. The stage is loaded with beachy goodness, items like palm trees, sandcastles, beach balls, surfboards, and other props that fit the event's theming are scattered about. A dock-like aisle leads wrestlers from the blue tasseled curtain that hangs from the entryway, which features the event logo above. To the right, we see a traditional 90s video wall, while a large steel lighting structure stretches across the top of the set. As wrestlers make their way to the ring, we're greeted with graphics consisting of the white font we saw earlier, with a long blue wave stretching behind and over to the event logo, which appears on the left. The ring is comprised of black ropes with yellow turnbuckle pads, along with black ring posts. On top of the canvas, we see the WCW Bullseye logo in yellow over a light gray base. Dark gray ring skirts that feature no branding or designs of any kind finish off the look. Just a little bonus note for this one, this would be the only Bash at the Beach to feature Gary Michael Capetta as ring announcer, with David Penzer and Michael Buffer handling all further events. On July 16, 1995, Bash at the Beach would take to Huntington Beach, California, literally on the beach, with a reported 9,500 onlookers. The event logo would remain the same as we saw it in 1994, with the addition of the show's sponsor, Slim Jim, featuring brand placement. We see a rather bubbly-looking white font given to the commentary team for introductions. The stage area is more or less a tent, with a wooden aisle leading from the entry area down to the ring. Off to the side, we see a good-sized video screen, along with some of the props that would accompany other events in the series, like beach balls and other inflatable water accessories. And it's safe to say there was no need to truck in any sand for this event. Wrestler introductions appear in the same font that we saw for commentary, with the addition of both the event logo to the left and the Slim Jim logo to the right. The ring setup is rather unique, with this one being an outdoor event, and even though it took place during the day, we do see a rather large lighting structure constructed around the ring and above it. We also see a small platform containing Slim Jim logos that the ring sits on, elevating it ever so slightly. The aprons here are blue, as is the canvas, though a lighter shade, and containing the yellow WCW Bullseye design. The ropes here are black, while turnbuckle pads appear in yellow and blue. Ring posts are also blue, and the two closest to the hard cam feature Slim Jim brand placement. Geez, they must have dished out quite a bit for this one. Their logos are everywhere. Daytona Beach, Florida would be the host of the 1996 Bash at the Beach on July 7th, with 8,300 fans in attendance. This year's event would don an all-new logo, featuring a more tiki-like vibe to it with palm trees, surfboards, and a really cool font with a nice color fade. Above it all, we see the WCW logo in white. On-screen introductions for the commentary team show us a unique gradient font with colors matching the event logo. The set design takes elements from what we saw in 1994 and adds to it. The sandcastles, beach balls, and surfboards return with the addition of some new props. The screen for 96 is positioned left of the ramp, and a banner featuring the event logo hangs mid-set. The font we see for wrestler introductions is the same that was used for the commentary team, only much larger, with alternate information appearing below in white. We even experience the beloved crab camera for the first time here. Wooden planks make up the dock-like aisle that lead wrestlers down to the ring, and in that very ring we see a very generic but clean look with black ropes, yellow turnbuckle pads, and a light blue ring canvas. Around the ring, skirts appear all gray, while posts are black and ringside padding is blue. We also see black steps here that lead up to the side of the ring, opposed to the corner. Bash at the Beach would return to Daytona Beach, Florida once again on July 13, 1997, with 7,851 fans attending. The logo here is recycled from last year, and that's a good thing. The commentary team's graphical introductions feature the same font as last year, with a whole new blue color scheme, retaining that gradient effect. The set is extremely similar to the one seen the previous year, with the same basic layout and props. The event logo centerpiece, which was previously just a medium-sized banner, is now a large cutout style design, and the background canvas has been given more details such as a moon. Even though we saw blue font for commentary, wrestlers see the same exact graphics package as 96 here. The ring area would see the biggest change, as 97 would mark the year that everything transitioned to the gray and black look, with black ropes, posts, and steps, and almost perfectly matching gray canvas and ring skirts. Yellow turnbuckle pads give everything a much needed pop of color. The biggest visual difference during this time between WCW and the WWF was logo placement. The WWF always featured company and event logos on the skirts while leaving the canvas blank, and WCW chose the opposite, which is what we see here, with the event logo appearing largely in the middle of the mat. For 1998, Bash at the Beach would make its way to San Diego on July 12th, with an attendance of just under 11,000. The logo used from the previous 2 years would return here with slight alterations, including solid colored font, a textured outline, and the WCW/NWO logo that was used for most of 1998 is seen here. Over at the commentary table, we see the same graphics package that made up 1997's introductions with no changes whatsoever. The stage area would see minimal changes as well, bearing the same layout, with some props slightly toned down compared to the previous years. The addition of a dual video screen setup is the most notable difference, as well as a tiki hut to the far right of the stage. While the sandcastles don't return, we do see a large sand pyramid for 98. As wrestlers make their way to the ring, we see on-screen introductions that feature the same font and color scheme that we'd seen for 96 and 97, with the addition of a wood plank pattern backdrop and the event logo to the left, replacing the dual palm trees design. Over at the ring, we see gray ringside padding and plain gray ring skirts with a gray ring canvas containing the event logo. In addition, we see black posts, black ropes, and red turnbuckle pads finish off the look. On July 11th, 1999, WCW would take to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, with 13,624 fans in attendance, the most so far for a Bash at the Beach. The logo here is redesigned for 1999, but features a similar style to the one previously used, now featuring a teal-colored font, gray drop shadow, and a black outline. The newly implemented WCW logo can be seen atop the design. The announce team features a skinny white font with a teal outline for introduction graphics. During this time in WCW, the company was starting to go for a more mature look, and with budgets changing, the stages were simplified as a result of these two factors. But luckily, the promotion's biggest events were spared. The base of this design is very much like the ones we've seen in the past, but up until now, theming was very bright and sunny beach fun. Here, however, it appears a storm has hit the beach, complete with arena lightning effects, ominous lighting, and a darker backdrop. We see the return of the one-screen setup, as a building now sits left of the stage. Because I guess the hotline wasn't enough, Gene decided to open up a bait shop. While the beach balls, surfboards, and lifeguard towers are nowhere to be found, we still see palm trees and other foliage, along with large rocks placed around the stage, and the event logo in the center. Though this wasn't a great time in WCW, this design has always been my favorite. I would have loved to see something like this for 1996. Wrestler introductions are comprised of the font we saw for the commentary team, with the addition of a backdrop consisting of a stormy sky and the event logo to the left. Additional information is presented in a similar font on the right. Over at the ring, we see full-blown gray and black, not a single pop of color here. We see black ropes, posts, steps, and turnbuckle pads with gray skirts, ringside padding, and canvas, which features the gray and black WCW logo in the center. The final WCW Bash at the Beach would take place on July 9, 2000, returning to Daytona Beach, Florida, with just over 6,500 fans attending the event. The logo from '99 returns with a new color scheme featuring yellow and brown, and for the first time since 1995, we see a sponsor's logo appear with it, with the event being presented by Masterlock. This would mark the first, only, and last Bash at the Beach to not feature a heavily themed design. The stage area here was commonly used throughout all weekly TV shows and pay-per-views during this time, with the only defining details being smaller banners located on both sides of the entry area. Above that, we see a large rear projection screen surrounded by steel lighting structures and backed by what would become known as the Starry Sky curtain. Introductions are as follows. For commentary, we see a simple white font with a smudged style backdrop. Wrestlers get the same treatment with larger text and the event logo to the left. The ring is quite the contrast to the one seen in '99, with plenty of color here. We see plain black skirts, ringside padding, posts, and steps along with black turnbuckle pads. Ropes would appear in red while the ring canvas would appear in blue, with the event logo placed in the middle and the Masterlock logos located above and below that. Eric Bischoff was recently asked on his podcast what he thought of this look with the blue canvas and the red ropes, and he said he favored it over the gray design. And while I do prefer a pop of color, this one is just a little too loud for my liking. All Elite Wrestling was able to acquire the Bash at the Beach license as WWE failed to renew the trademark, and on January 15, 2020, the name would be used for a special edition of the weekly television show AEW Dynamite. The event would take place in Coral Gables, Florida, with just under 4,000 fans in attendance. The logo would feature a very Miami Vice-like design with a pink and teal color scheme and palm trees on both sides of the title. While the base design of the stage would be that used for Dynamite, we would see the inclusion of the classic Bash at the Beach props, such as sand, beach balls, surfboards, tropical foliage, and even a lifeguard on duty. Dual video screens accompany two entrance tunnels, with LED accents in the middle and far sides. A third video screen in the middle of the set finishes off the design. Some graphical features, such as replays, showcase the event logo and color scheme, while the rest of the event, from the wrestler introductions to the ring design, wouldn't feature any Bash at the Beach branding. The following week's episode of Dynamite would feature Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea, a wrestling event that takes place on a cruise ship, and while technically this event is part of the AEW Bash at the Beach week, there isn't any branding here that would represent the event whatsoever. I really hope you guys enjoyed revisiting Bash at the Beach with me. It's always been one of my favorite events, and it felt good giving this one a redo. Stay tuned for more Arena Showcase videos coming soon, and thank you for watching.